Hey, it's Natasha Miller, and I'm on the Coriolis effect, and I'm talking about my book, Relentless, Homeless Teen to Achieving the Entrepreneur Dream. Check it out.
Welcome to the Coriolis effect with Cory Oliver.
Hi guys, I'm Cory Oliver. Thanks for watching the Coriolis effect. Please hit the subscribe button below, and we hope you like this episode.
Hi guys, we wanted to announce that like many podcasters, we just started a Patreon account. Visit our page at patreon.com/the Coriolis effect. We have 5 different levels of membership and offer early access to episodes, behind the scenes footage, bonus episodes, shoutouts, and much more, including personal phone calls, questions and answer sessions, and live chats with Bob and me. That's patreon.com/the Coriolis effect. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning, Cory. How are you?
I'm doing really well.
Did I hit record? Okay, I hit record. So, how are you?
I'm doing well.
What are you?
How are you? I'm doing good and
You're doing
well.
good, yes.
Yeah. How are you?
I'm very goodly well. Welly good. I know, it drives you
Our
nuts.
whole lives we've spent like being corrected by our elderlies and people and our teachers.
My parents.
Well,
You know what's funny? I've never had a teacher correct me. My parents correct me all the time on good and well.
Well, that explains
But
why you
teachers,
correct me.
Yeah.
But isn't it funny? And now all of a sudden it's just acceptable to be a completely different vernacular.
Because you do something wrong enough, it becomes right.
Yeah. Yeah. Guess so.
My God. Anyway,
How
who's
are
coming
you?
in? I'm well. Who's coming in today? Let's get right to it.
Right to it, are ya? Wow.
I got nothing to say. I was.
What?
We took a break between
make that a
episodes,
button?
and I took a nap, and I was watching
you really?
TV. I'm watching that show Reacher.
Oh, are you sucked in
on,
now? That's not
Amazon.
funny.
It's really good. It's
it really?
good. Yeah.
That's how I was with that show, Inventing Irina. I just couldn't I couldn't wait to get home to just go and watch the show.
Yeah. It's. I'm very very happy.
You know, it's really interesting. We'll just touch on this for 1 second. It's interesting to see the transition from studios to cable network to streaming, because it really is. We are the marketers now. People are. It's word of mouth. I constantly call my friends. I'm like, what are you watching now? And then they'll tell me, and then I'll go watch it, and they'll give me a little synopsis. And it's like, gone are the days of commercials. And,
Well, yeah, for the younger viewers, you would watch a show, and then on the commercial breaks of that show, they would tell you all the other shows that are on that network.
Yes.
But if you watch NBC, you don't get to know what's on CBS or ABC because they wouldn't tell you, obviously.
And some people, I don't know, but some people say, could be, maybe not, that there used to be like a TV guide.
Yeah,
I don't know.
A book that would tell you what was on in a little grid. You know what they used to have? In the movies, they used to have these back page where you look up and say what movie's playing at what theater.
Yes.
And then, and remember, was it Movie Phone? Where you would call up and they punch in a theater and then you hit what's playing at what theater for movie times, yeah.
And they had Blockbuster, which was a place you could go get CDs, and then it turned into Redbox, which was a kiosk out in front of the grocery store.
They still have those, by the way.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yes. You used to be able to call 411 and get movie times. Did you know that?
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
There's a
No,
great
I don't
comedian.
remember that.
There's a great comedian, Gary Gulman, who says, this is like today you would call 411, which, by the way, 411 is still around.
Is it?
Yeah. He said, I'd like to know movie times. No, I'd like to know every movie time of every theater within 25 miles of where I'm standing right here. I want to know who's in the movie. I want to see a trailer. That's what the internet does. But I want to see who's in the movie. I want to see the trailer. I want to see the rating. I want to see other movies those actors are in. Can you do that for me, Miss
Are you sure 411's still around?
411 is still around.
Do you use it?
No, because it's 45 cents every time you call.
Oh, so now they charge.
Oh, yeah.
They're hip to it.
Well, they always used to charge you. It's just nobody used it more than that. But a friend of mine's mother, who recently just passed, had Alzheimer's the last couple of years, and ran up $800 in a month just calling 411. And so it was a bit of a problem.
Yeah, because I think it used to be like 5 cents or something like that.
Cents.
So that makes sense.
That was the old phrase.
Get that?
People used to answer the phone saying it's your nickel because it used to be a nickel to make the call.
Yeah.
Now it's your free time. You call
Free
anywhere in the
time,
world.
yeah.
All right. So who's our guest today?
Our guest is somebody I can totally relate to. She and I are very kind of kindred spirits, I think. I have to get my glasses. Her name is Natasha Miller. She wrote a book called Relentless, and she was in shelters and was homeless when she was a teen, 16 years old, which I can't even imagine. And I have so many questions for her. And really turned her life into some amazing things. So what am I doing? What are you doing?
No, I'm saying get the mic a little closer to you.
Oh, does that mean mic closer?
So sorry.
And so I'm really just excited to talk to her because she's an entrepreneur. She's just one of those people like us. Like, you think something and you make it happen. And
You can just leave it there. I'll fix it on the break.
okay, because I don't know.
Having a lot of trouble with it.
I'm trying to talk about our wonderful guest. She's the CEO of Entire Productions, which is based out of San Francisco. She is, I'm going to give you a little bit of her. She's a graduate of Goldman Sachs 10K program. She studied at Harvard and MIT business. She is a member of the Recording Academy, ASCAP. She is also a jazz vocalist and trained pianist. And unbelievable. I know you're going to totally, I see your face right now.
What was I going to say?
Because I said the word pianist.
But it's not pianist. Okay. It's pianist.
Stop.
It is pianist.
It is not.
It's pianist. It's not penis. It's pianist.
It's really bright.
Yeah. Because, those are the guys that play with their organ.
Cade, can you please cut this out? This is a family show.
It's an organ. It's a B3 split level organ with all the stops.
Anyway, she's amazing. She's just, I love her energy and I love how she just makes it happen. And so, we all have some sort of background and, you know exactly how I feel. Like, I'm just a really big proponent of turning your pain into your purpose. And so she has certainly done that. And I can't even imagine. So we're going to talk to her today and dive into her story and
very cool.
And just get a little more familiar with Natasha Miller. I think that she should have a Netflix series about her, but maybe that's in the works. I don't know. We'll ask her.
Is the book autobiography or what is it?
Yeah. Yes. Okay. So she's incredible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we will see her when she gets.
This is the actual first time that you have nothing to say.
I know, this is sad.
Actually, it's not. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day.
I'm going to go home. I'm going to go in the other room. I'm going to think a whole bunch of things to say. Then I'm going to say it. I'm going to overdub it into here so it looks like I have a lot to say.
Okay. All right.
All right. See you in a few minutes.
Okay.
This episode is sponsored by Brizo Healthy Fruit Tonic. With Manuka honey and apple cider vinegar, less than 4 grams of sugar, and under 35 calories per can, each of Brizo's 4 flavors not only taste great, they are an excellent source of vitamin C. Brizo boosts your immune system and is great for your post-workout recovery. Brizo, available on Amazon and at brizo.com. We want to take a minute and talk to you about ExpressVPN. Most people don't know that your internet provider, many websites, and even apps collect all of your data and then sell it to whoever's willing to pay for it. They know what websites you visited, what products you've bought, what products you looked at and did not buy, and some people can even copy your passwords and usernames and then access your private accounts. ExpressVPN encrypts all of your data and sends it from their servers, so no one knows where you are. With ExpressVPN, people may think you're in Bangladesh when you're really in Chicago. They would think you're in South America when you're really in Detroit. ExpressVPN protects you from hackers who try to steal your information, and also from spies who try to use your data for their own nefarious purposes. ExpressVPN also allows you unrestricted access to all parts of the internet. How does it work? ExpressVPN uses the best-in-class encryption. Whenever you are connected to ExpressVPN, every piece of data going in and out of your devices goes through a security crypted tunnel and cannot be seen. Not by the government, not by hackers, not by your internet service provider, not even by ExpressVPN. ExpressVPN also employs IP masking. Every device has a unique IP address, which can be traced back to you. When you use ExpressVPN, your connection gets routed through one of their 3,000 plus servers, hiding your real IP address and replacing it with one of their own. This allows you to browse the web truly anonymously. With servers in 94 different countries, you have a wide variety of places you can choose to appear from. ExpressVPN also provides 24/7 customer support with live chat, which means your question will be answered within seconds, not hours or days. It is also one of the easiest apps to use. Just open the app, and with one click, you're protected. It is also physically impossible for any of ExpressVPN's servers to store logs of any customers. And ExpressVPN is a top-rated VPN provider, rated #1 by CNET, The Verge, Wired, TechRadar, and many more. Just go to expressvpn.com/Cory to get 3 extra months free with a 12-month plan. This is a limited-time offer for the Coriolis Effect with Cory Oliver listeners. Again, get 3 months free with a 12-month plan. Go to expressvpn.com/Cory. With ExpressVPN, you can protect all of your digital devices, your computers, your phones, your tablets, everything, and have no more border restrictions. Again, that's expressvpn.com/Cory.
I tend to lean forward because I know it's really.
Let's start the show.
Thank you.
Comedy routine over there.
We really are a comedy routine over here. And today we have Natasha Miller on the show. We've already gone through an entire... Yeah, I actually believe she does deserve a clap because she's amazing. And I went through your intro. We have a little separate intro that we do on the show. And so I went through all of your accolades, if you will, and they're very impressive and amazing. And, your book had me in the fetal position for many reasons. And I always say there's a lot of golden nuggets. And I usually have a book here, but I read it on PDF. So I don't have my stickies. I feel a little bit out of sorts.
I just got 100 books, the first 100 yesterday.
Look at that.
I was almost thinking I was not going to ever get a book, an actual book, but it's happening.
I loved it. It's happening. Isn't that beautiful? And we're going to go through all of that. You are just one of those very inspiring people. And you're right when you say it's a great book that you can revert back to because it has so many golden nuggets and so many life lessons and things that you can relearn over and over and over again, right? And so it's very powerful. I'm going to try to get through this interview without crying.
Not going to happen.
I can relate to you on so many different levels. You are just an incredible human being, and I can't wait to talk to you and dive into your story. So, but first, we have a fear word. We don't live in fear here.
You could just call them words.
Well, it's a phobia.
Okay, it's called a phobia.
It's not a fear word, it's a phobia.
But you're negative. I don't like the negativity.
I'm so sorry, Bob.
You should stop being negative.
Will you forgive me?
No.
Okay. So you get to guess what it is.
All right, I'm going to play a word, Natasha. I'm going to spell it, play it, and say it, and you got to guess what it means. It is a phobia. Oops, hang on, I hit the wrong button. See, you got me all confused, Cory.
I know. It's me, my fault.
Negotiophobia.
And it's not what you think it is.
Negotiophobia.
Negotiophobia. Negotio phobia. Negotiophobia.
Is
the
not
fear of?
Not the fear of negotiation.
It is not.
Is it the fear of like creepy crawling things?
No. Cory?
Is it the fear of being homeless?
No, homeless. That would be homosophobia.
Not necessarily.
Opposite of agoraphobia.
Is it the fear of
Think of the guest.
Singing?
No.
Well, she does so many wonderful, amazing things. It's like we usually try to, gear it towards the guest. The fear of the piano.
Oh, you were so close. No, I thought you were going to make a B.
I'm not.
You made a P. B. The fear
what
of
is it?
Business.
The fear of business. That's a
Negotio in Latin is business.
That's a good one. That's
Why
actually a
would
good
somebody
one, Bob.
have a fear of business? It's amazing.
Why would somebody have a fear of spiders?
This
They
woman,
bite.
Natasha Miller, does not have a fear of business. Let me tell you what she's done. CEO of Entire Productions is ruling the entire production world right now because she is incredible. And honestly, I've always said this and I'll say it again. People might get tired of me saying this, but I am so envious and I appreciate people when they turn their pain into their purpose. And you have certainly done that in more ways than one. And so I'd love to just talk to you about, your the business aspect, but also then go into your book, Relentless. Mm-hmm. I love that word because you've had to be relentless on many levels to get to where you are, having come from where you came, right?
Right.
And so it's such a beautiful testimony that you wrote on what you've gone through, how you went through it, the steps you took. You say, I have all these things written down. You took steps to move forward, and so many people can get stuck in their pain. I'd been there, and it really does freeze you. You're almost you're like a deer in headlights.
Okay, now Natasha, what you don't know is before we started the show, Cory and I had a 10-minute conversation about how she doesn't like people who give long intros. I just say, hi, here you are, and let the guest talk. You've been talking for 4 minutes. Let the guest talk.
I did say that, but here's the thing. When you have someone like her on, there's so much to talk about, and you can identify with it. And so, yes, I'm going to let you talk. You're right, Bob. That's going to be a button now. You're right.
I love it. You're so sweet, Bob.
Oh, I hit the wrong button. Hold on.
See what he does.
I'll go with that one.
Well, I truly do admire you for doing that. It's sometimes we can get stuck there. So tell me, just walk me through your process of, if we can just start at Relentless. I'd love to start there. I have lots of questions for you, but I'd love to start at Relentless, at your book.
I want to address what you said. I have gotten stuck many times for quite some time. And I still get stuck sometimes, but it's a faster recovery now. So if you're listening to this, or if you're listening to this, and you feel stuck, it's not the end of the world. It might last for months. It might last for over a year. Let's try not to make it last that long. But there is something about being stuck that gives you time to think about what you need, what you want, how to go about it. But I don't suggest wallowing in that for too long. Yeah. So I'm relentless in my pursuit of getting over myself and going toward what I want.
Well, and we can't really get to what we want if we don't push ourselves forward. And, there's always that time to cry. I've sat in the fetal position one too many days, I think, sometimes. But you're right. I love that you have been proactive in helping others now with your pen to paper, find the tools to move forward. Because sometimes it just takes one person or a sentence from somebody, right?
Yeah.
And so that's why I love your book, because even though I know how and I've been to therapy and I've done all these things, you'll always get a golden nugget from a book like this.
I think you are always learning and you're always gathering information. And it depends on where you are in your own life path, how it affects you. So you can hear something at 16 that doesn't affect you at all and hear it again at 32. And it's an aha, mind-blowing moment. And you don't really probably remember hearing it at 16 because it didn't apply at that time. So I'm always ready, open, and willing to hear anything that someone has to say, because I'm just always trying to catch. My net is open to catch the golden nuggets.
I love that. I love that. So you wrote this book, Relentless. Can we get a little serious for a second?
Absolutely.
I know you're a mom. I'm a mom. And I know that your mom forced you out of the house when you were 16. Yeah. And you went into a shelter. Can you tell me about that moment and how that was, the catapult that took you into where you are right now?
At that time, when I finally called 911 to get saved, I was waiting my whole life to be saved. No one came. My mom, I would say for the last time, but no, she actually had threatened to kill me after that, but that's, later in the book. I made the call and asked for help, and someone came to the house, but they couldn't save me. But they gave my dad an option, if he didn't feel I was safe, to take me to this homeless shelter. And it was very mixed emotions. It was, oh my gosh, I'm free. I'm free of this horrible life. Somebody's going to see me and value me and take care of me. And with fear, right? Mixed with fear and shame and guilt and, all the things. It was a whole torpedo full of emotions. But then I found that, no one was really going to save me. And the only person that was going to be able to save me is myself. Now, did I have that clarity? Could I have voiced that at 17 and 18 and 19 as I, started to climb out of my own pit? No. I can voice it now because I have so much distance from that time.
Time does heal all wounds, doesn't it? I mean, sometimes not all maybe, but it definitely gives you some clarity and some space and it will heal it. And if you do the necessary work, it'll heal it from the inside out. If you don't, there'll maybe be a layer of whatever that kind of closes.
I would not say either that I'm done with my work. I have a lot of things that I want to achieve, a lot of things I want to get over, a lot of things that I want to heal. And I'm in a great place, but I'm not done.
Yeah. And so at what point after being in the shelter, and at what point did that transition into, wait, I want to make a change in my life. I want my life to go differently. I know you have a daughter, and how has that impacted your and your daughter's relationship?
I mean, I've always wanted my life to go differently and to go better. So I'm always scratching and crawling out of what mentally is like this dark cave that I can never get out of. And, you know, for a couple of inches up, you fall down maybe a foot. And then you catapult yourself back up a little higher than those couple inches, and you fall a little short. Like, it's just this up and down motion that you'll finally get to close to where you want, and you may even surpass it, which is what happened with me. I cannot believe the life I have right now. I can't believe the opportunities, the successes, the love, the safety that I feel as a human being. After what I went through, I want to feel even more safe and even more love, though. And so those are some of the things that I'm working on.
What is your definition of safe? Like, your personal. I know there's the definition, but what does feeling safe for you mean?
Yeah. So I am in a place in my life right now, and I built this place where I don't have to look outside of myself to feel good about who I am, recognize my gifts, my talents, my successes, see my downfalls. I mean, sure, having, you know, a blind spot mirror is always good. And I don't have to look to somebody else to pay for anything for me, right? The life that I'm living right now is the life that I've created. And I know that now I can sustain that lifestyle. I can have an even bigger lifestyle if I want. And I know that whatever I want, I actually can obtain with what I have within me now. And before, I think I was looking to other people, you know, certainly in relationships, you know, I got that all wrong, right? Because I was trying to plug the holes, the gaping holes that were left from not being loved or cared for. You know, I wasn't safe as a child. So God, can you imagine what that does to a kid's mind? And
no, I actually was saying that to Bob. I can't, having a daughter, and you have a daughter. I can't imagine not. I mean, I'm still a bit of a hoverer. I'm just gonna say she tolerates me really well, but no, I can't imagine what your sweet little heart had to go through. So it had me in tears. That's why I love your story, because there's, you know, Walt Disney said it, and I've been quoted as saying this before: if you can dream it, you can achieve it. And you have dreamt this, and you are achieving your goals. So,
and I did rewrite our ancestral history, because my daughter Bennett grew up with 100% and probably more love and security and safety than the kids around her, because I was able to, even though I got divorced from her dad when she was 2. She had 2 full households of parents that were doting on her, reading to her, supporting her. I remember her saying, "Mom," this was in junior high, "my other friends' parents don't care about their school papers. You really want to know what I'm writing. You really want to read what I'm writing." And I thought, well, there she is, being able to understand and feel not only safety, that's more than safety, right?
Mm-hmm. And what a blessing for you to be able to, it feels good to provide that for them, you know?
It's healing.
It's very healing. And I get it. My parents were divorced. I love them both. I have a relationship with both of them, but it wasn't the normal environment. And so there was a lot of back and forth. And so that creates some instability too. And I understand when you say that you just wanted to feel safe. I've always just wanted to feel safe as well. Mm-hmm. And that's why I asked you what your definition of it is, because ours is similar. Mm-hmm. It's very similar. And we have a very similar path, different circumstances, but similar path. And so I understand it. And I think it's beautiful that you provided that environment for your daughter. That's so beautiful. That's Thank really you. Wonderful. So let's talk about you. You are the CEO of your own company, Entire Productions. You graduated from Goldman Sachs 10K program. You studied at Harvard and MIT. You are a member of the Recording Academy ASCAP. You also are I can't say this word, you say it.
No, you're doing the same thing you criticize other people doing, giving her whole resume
I'm just saying this right now.
Okay.
Just a couple things, but say the word. You say it.
Oh, I don't know what word you're talking about.
When you play.
Oh, pianist.
Pianist.
It's not P-I-N-I-S.
She just said it right.
How do you say it?
You can say it pianist, or you
pianist,
can say
right.
Pianist.
Pianist.
It's not pianist.
Well,
But it's pianist. Pianist. You just say it really quickly. It's not the word you are thinking of.
You're young. Where do you find time to do all these things? It's amazing, all of your accomplishments. And
I'm
it's
not
just
young. I'm not young. I just look young.
You do. I know.
Yeah.
You really do.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later, your secrets.
I'm not young. I'm 27.
No, I can tell you exactly why I look this way. I'm 51. And naturally, not because I want to be healthy, I don't have a taste for alcohol. I have never smoked a cigarette in my life. I don't do drugs because I'm a total nerd. I wish that I had more social ability. I don't go in the sun. I've never baked. I mean, I go out in the sun to walk and kayak and stuff, but I try to lead as stress-free life as possible. And for some reason, similar to not liking the taste of alcohol, I've never been dependent or even like caffeine or soda. So here's one last thing. I'm a quarter Filipino. So all of that stuff.
Okay, you just struck a nerve.
Yes.
By the way, hey Cory, do you remember when you were 51?
You know what? I agree with all of those things. And it's funny because my stepmom is 100% Filipino. And my daughter, every time she sees her, she's like, Mom, when's Neneng? We call her Neneng. When is she going to age? She's like, we're all aging around her. And she's just, so yes, I agree. That's good genes. Good genes. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yep.
On your mom's side or your dad's side?
My mom is half Filipino. Our dad was born in Manila.
Oh, okay. Wow. Mm-hmm. Wow. I wish I could remember all the Filipino things that she says to me. So tell me then, you have, I have a million questions in my mind right now, but I guess I would like to stick to a format here of some sort, because I want to know, I want to help people listening, right? That's our whole goal for writing the book and having the show, is to help people achieve their goals. For me, I love that. And if we can do one thing that will help them, that's great. So tell me how, I'll go through some of these questions. Like, how did you build your business? What did you say to yourself? I want to create a production company, and I want it to be a multi-million-dollar production company. I mean,
never said that. Never said it.
Okay.
So I had what is called a lifestyle business for the first 12 or 13 years, because my focus was on Bennett, my daughter, but also my performing career as a jazz vocalist and a classical violinist. And my business supported those endeavors. So it never occurred to me to scale and grow the business, to have employees, to be a multi-million-dollar business. But life got in the way, and opportunity came my way. And because I've been on my own since such a young age, I would never turn down opportunities. So when I was booked as a violinist or a singer in one night, if you would then call me and say, hey, can you do my event? Instead of saying no, I would say yes. I wouldn't say yes, I can. I would say I'm booked, but I can bring in another group that's just as good as I am and probably better, and manage them. And for a couple of years, I was only really sending out jazz musicians and classical musicians because that's what I knew. But then I got the call in 2001, which is when I officially started the business with the business license, to produce a concert series for this retail outdoor client. And it was about $100,000 gig for the entire year. And I said yes. I was nervous. I didn't know if I could program the types of music that they wanted to have there on the plaza, but I did. And I still have that client today.
Wow. That's incredible.
So we moved from classical and jazz to every genre, every discipline, from local to headline talent.
How did you get on the Inc. 5000?
5,000
list?
So your company, it's not roulette. Basically, you have to have grown by a certain amount year over year compared to all of the other businesses. So I grew by 65% in the first year that I applied, and you have to have 2 million minimum in revenue the second year. It's a little bit complicated, but basically you have to show that you're scaling and growing your business at a more than normal rate. So I was on it for 1 year, then another year, then last year was our 3rd year in a row on the list.
Is it something that you originally have to apply for, or do they come after you?
Oh, you have to apply for it every year. And you have to give them all of your documents, your tax returns. They have to be signed off by a CPA. Like, they're not messing around.
Right. No, well, that makes sense. They want to make sure that you are who you say you are. There'd be a lot of people, because there's a lot of people that have businesses, right? You know, but 5,000, that's not a lot in the grand scheme of things. You know, so that's well done. Well done, you.
Thank you.
That's hard work.
It was a big deal to me, you know, because you read the book, but
it
was the world. It was my, you did it. You finally did it. I mean, there's lots of times in my inflection point timeline that I felt like I had success, but now I had national recognition.
And I think when you come from where you came from and you're put down in a sense, right? In some ways, that's the narrative in your head when you're a kid. You know, those are your formidable years, and you're really, you know, you really are a product of your environment in that moment, but it doesn't necessarily have to define you for the rest of your life. And that's what's so great about your book, is because you took yourself out of that environment and you've put and created a new environment for yourself, which is healthy and thriving. And it was just so incredible to read it. And it's beautiful to see that I can see the joy within your heart and how you've transitioned yourself, right? And opportunities come and go for everybody, but you seize the moment, carpe diem, right? And you've taken those opportunities to another level, I might add. What would you say, because I'm a bit of an entrepreneur and so is Bob, and what would you say the hardest part about being an entrepreneur is? And then we'll ask what the best part.
Yeah, the hardest part about being an entrepreneur with a team of full-time employees, which I have, is the people. People are the most challenging thing of anything. So I have an incredible team now, but figuring out how to get that team, how to develop that team, how to keep that team is the number one biggest challenge I've ever had as an entrepreneur.
And that makes sense. You know, not everybody at every company, you know, there's a lot of different personalities and a lot of different goals, and it is finding the ones that can walk alongside you in life, right? So I would imagine that is, I have a friend who owns a very, 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 very big business. I won't even say what it is, but it's a big business, and she has 6 of them, and they're a very famous burger place. And she was saying that, you know, she would have, the hardest part for her was the same thing, you know, scheduling the people and the kids nowadays, you know, if they didn't want to clean the bathroom, and she would.
Right. Her business, she's got it even harder than I do, because she has hourly employees that are making somewhere around minimum wage. And at that point, the stickiness and the loyalty isn't like it would be for a salaried, higher paying position.
Yeah. Yes. And she has the 18-year-olds, their mom's calling saying, my daughter doesn't want to clean the bathroom. She's like, I don't, that's not, what are the top 3 things that you'd suggest for an entrepreneur to scale and grow their company?
Well, I think, you know, number one is the people learning how to, let's back it up, learning to know what role you really need, then learning how to create a job description that not only tells the applicant what they're going to be doing, but what the outcomes are that are expected out of the things that they're going to be doing. And then the skill of interviewing is a whole skill set that like none of us really were born with. Yes. Interviewing someone to find out like what their life is like is a lot different than interviewing to find out if they're a fit for your culture and for the capacity that you need them to have. And then, onboarding is so important, and it can make or break a new hire. Then training, developing, and keeping them there, because you've invested some time, some money, and then you've now brought them into this tapestry of your organization. So they're not expendable. it's going to cost a lot to replace them. So number
So let
one
me
is
ask you-
get all that together.
I know, right? No, that's just number one. Okay, there's two. What are the other two things?
Number two is definitely figure out what the day-to-day processes are. Create a system for those. Make sure that you are doing them as well as you can at the time. Write them down. Get them on a Google Drive and Trainual, wherever you want to put your stuff. Excuse me. And then also do training videos so that you have a repeatable job description for everyone. They can remind themselves, and you can train people in the future without taking all of your time.
I'm giving you a second to, you get something to drink. Okay, so I have a kind of a question that just kind of popped into my head because I'm thinking of everything that you've been through. I read the book. I got visuals. And it's difficult in general sometimes to trust. The word trust keeps coming into my mind right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard for me sometimes to trust people because I've had people, betray, and everyone has. Nothing's new under the sun here.
Because we're humans.
But as a
and that's
kid,
what
right.
happens.
We're human. But going into a business, a multi-million-dollar business, and a successful business, how would you gauge someone that came in to work for you? How would you be able to, obviously you don't know trust is built, but trusting a new employer, putting your faith and trust into somebody that you've hired, how do you gauge that?
I think you have to trust yourself first. Trust yourself and trust that your instincts for the person that you're talking to are good. To the point now, I don't think I would do what I'm about to say for a full-time employee with benefits and getting them into the infrastructure of my company. But now when I hire freelancers or virtual assistants, I don't interview them. I look at their abilities. I look at what they've done in the past. I've looked at their references. I make a choice, and then we just hit the ground running. Yeah. And I think that's happening now for me because I trust myself more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good because you have an instinct. You have I always say to my daughter, that's your check in your spirit is that little voice telling you which way to go.
Yep.
That's God usually. That's in my life. Oh, you leaned in. I thought you were going to say something, Bob.
No, I was just shifting in my chair, listening intently.
Yes, what are we just talking about? Tell us.
That stuff you were talking about. Talking about employees. I wouldn't do this with a full-time employee, but I would definitely listen.
What did you, when you were young and 16 or 17 or even before that, did you sing then? I used to sit, I sang and I would sing in the living room in a hairbrush. Yeah.
Yep. I've been singing since I was born, probably. I don't know. I have pictures of me in a diaper.
Ta-da!
No, I have pictures of me in my diaper next to my dad playing the piano, reaching up to the keys. And, he would play in the back piano room every night after work. And I would sing with him. And it was my heart and my soul. Now, the instrument that kind of picked me up and moved me forward started in 4th grade, the violin, but then I was able to not swap it out, but add singing after I made a place for me with the violin.
I love the violin. My brother played the violin. I could never play the violin.
It's a hard instrument. It's a hard instrument, but not if you've never played anything else, then you don't know any better.
Right. That's right. You're right. It's just everything in life, right? Speaking of, you went through the fire when you were younger. Mm-hmm. How many years prior to being forced out of the house, I'll say, were you under a level of duress?
My entire life.
Your entire life.
Mm-hmm. I was hidden when my mom was pregnant. They didn't tell anyone. And I was probably 9 months old, alive, before anyone knew that I was on this earth. And I can only imagine with someone who was, listen, having a baby is hard. if you're in good mental health. If you're not in good mental health, God only knows how I was treated back then. I will never know.
And your mom and dad were together.
Yeah.
Yes. And so, okay. Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. I've asked my dad, what the hell? What happened? Why did this happen? Why did you let this happen? And he answered me the best he could. And, you know, my dad was incredible with me on like every other part except for protecting me from her. And he hates it. He hates that he did that.
I bet he does. I'm sure he does. But I bet you he looks at you and loves who you are because of it. And is proud of you.
He's very proud of me. But, you know, this book coming out is hard for him because he's having to face, you know, you can hide under the radar for a long time if your daughter doesn't write a book about all the crap that went on, right? But now, not only have I written a book, but it's being published and I'm marketing it and I'm talking about it out loud. Now he's read the book and he's asked me to make some, you know, it's interesting. One of the things that he asked me to change was actually a strange thing. So he was in charge of the homeless assistance programs back in Des Moines when I went into the youth shelter. So I said in the book, and it may be in the version you have, that he was in charge of it. He asked me to write that he was a coordinator, which kind of downgrades his, you know, and he's just being modest and humble, which is who he is. So I did that. I acquiesced. I'm like, okay, Dad, like it's not really going to change the reader experience, but if it makes you feel better, okay.
What was his initial reaction when he read it? And how did you present it to him? Just curious.
He knew I was writing it from the time I started, and he seemed supportive. I was asking him really hard questions, and he answered them. Didn't give me any flack for that, really supported me. But when it came to it being actually getting ready to be published, he finally asked me to read it. And the first text I got from him was, wow, this is amazing. It's really well done. So my dad's a writer, by the way. So he was impressed and proud of me as a writer. Then the next day he came over and he was concerned. He was concerned about whatever backlash I might experience from family members, whoever. And he's sad that some of the people that know him might judge him and look at him differently now that they have read my account of what happened. And he's 77. I don't want to kick him when it's not that he's down, but as he's aging, but it also has to be some kind of a release that
I was just
we don't
going
have
to say,
to hide anymore.
This is speaking to your dad right now. You know, everyone has a mugshot. Some people it's on the front cover of Time magazine. Some people it's never on the cover of any magazine, but every single solitary.
Some people it's at the post office.
It's at the post office. And yes, and everybody has a story, has a testimony, has a mugshot. And I tell people all the time, you know, wherever you go, there you are. So we think we can run, we think we can hide, we think we can do all those things, but we're still there.
Yeah.
And this is a beautiful, I think, you know, testimony obviously he may feel like he couldn't have protected you in those moments, which he had his own reasons, but he also created this amazing, strong, beautiful woman who is dealt with her pain and is now helping others deal with it. Yeah. That's the way I see it. So I think, you know, well done, whatever. We have to take our pain and turn it into our purpose. And, you know, I'm staring at you, but I'm also staring to the left, and I've seen the cover and I've read the book, but, you know, Relentless. How did you were relentless and are in a good, positive way in not giving up, not letting one person or two or three or four or five define you and direct your path. You've directed your own, which is kudos, because I've done the same, and it's not an easy thing. And a lot of people will tell you, you can't, you won't, it's never going to happen. And I always say, oh, wow, that must be, you know, new level, new devil, but it does happen. And it's what made you decide on that title?
I'll tell you exactly. I was emailing I'm on the board of Zenefits, which is a people operations company that I actually use. And the director of communications wrote, and this was in response to something, maybe how I pivoted my business during the pandemic. And she was like, Natasha, I really admire your relentless tenacity. And I was having a really hard time coming up with the title for the book. And so I used that as a placeholder for a year. And as I shared it with other people, everyone has their opinion. People are going to have an opinion about what the book is called now, the final version. But they were saying, I think a one-word title, The Relentless, is stronger. And relentless tenacity, to some, might think it's the same word over and over. It isn't, but it's close enough. And so I just dropped it. And, we still use that word in various marketing materials and probably in the book. But that's where it came from.
Well, it fits us so perfectly. I can't even imagine going through what you've gone through. The book comes out on March 22nd, I believe, correct?
It is, yes.
I'm going to order my copy because I read it, but I like to have notes, and anyone who knows me and you've seen, I have sticky notes and this, I felt a little naked not having the actual book in front of me because
I can see your physical pain and not having your book and your stickies. So I can see that.
It is. It's true. It's a weird thing. And it's because I really do enjoy reading, other people's work and what they've gone through. And it's hard to write a book in general, but to write a book about something so personal and so close to you, I'm stuck in that area of my life. I not stuck in it. I would be stuck writing it because it's so different than, taking this story and writing about it. I mean, you have had to have gone through a very cathartic healing process, just putting pen to paper, just journaling.
Some healing. And also, as you know, something happens toward the end of the book that was quite miraculous.
Yes.
And I had to put the book down and the writing down for 6 months and deal with the emotions, the lashing out by my mother. And I want to keep it secret so people are like, what is she talking about?
I'm purposely not. I usually go through
what I'm talking about. Yeah.
It's almost like I didn't get the book for a reason because I'll usually go through it, but I got the PDF and I read it online, but God's keeping it protected. And I would encourage anyone, even if I, gave the whole book away, which I'm not, I'm just leaving it there, to get it because like you said, and I'll stick with it. It's one of those books I would keep. That's why I want a copy. I want to just open it and you go to the golden nuggets. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we just we can conceptually know, we understand, and it's out there, but you need a reminder, even if it's just one sentence,
I'm so thankful to hear that from you, that it is something that, look at this. I'm making an impact on you. And I'm now tearing up. It's important, right? It's important that my life work and my life story is bigger than me. And it's reached out and it's done something for you. And hopefully it will do something for those that you reference it to. And then look at what I get to do with my life is affect, it's a pebble effect of various people. I'm not going to change the entire world. I'm not going to transform your entire life, but I hope to impact whoever comes to this book positively in some form.
You have me, and I've done it. I mean, I've been in the fetal position. I've written a song about it. I know what it's like. And I always said, like, if it just touches one person's life, then it was worth it.
Okay.
It was worth it.
I can't do that though. I want to impact as many people as I can, and one person is not enough for me.
I know. No, well, listen, you are definitely, but I was actually, while I was reading it, I had just finished, the day before, I had just finished Inventing Anna. I don't know if you've seen that on Netflix.
Oh gosh, I haven't seen it yet. I can't wait to see it. Yeah, it's
well, this I'm reading, and then I go switch to reading your book, which is completely different. So I really want you to see that because.
But wait, I have bought clothes and worn them and kept the tags tucked in and returned them.
Yeah, no,
I mean it wasn't Versace or Gucci, but
yes,
it was probably Old Navy. But
yeah, and I guess that's why I reference it because she created this alternate life for herself to hide the pain. Mm-hmm. You created an alternate or another life and are using the pain. And that's the difference. And it's so beautiful. And I was like, this should be a series. Like you should have a series about yourself and your character and and helping and turning it around for good. Because a lot of people, right, we're all suffering. I mean, just even in the last 3 years, we've had crazy changes. Everyone. Kids have everyone. Going through COVID and masks. And, I can't even imagine having a young child. How old's your daughter?
Every living thing has been impacted. Pets, kids. My daughter's 26.
Right. So we didn't have to have our kids young masking up at school every day and just the
I can't
psychological.
Even imagine. I can't. And now I'm hearing from other parents. I kind of catch conversations. Their kids don't want to take the masks off because they're so used to it and they think it's the right thing to do and that they'll get in trouble or they'll die. And so this is what they've grown up with. This face covering, which, we'll see what the end result of that is in the future.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, can you describe yourself in 3 words?
No.
Describe 3 words that describe you.
There you go. It's only written on the wall right in front of you.
I'm dyslexic.
Well, okay, I'm going to use my LinkedIn profile. Outgoing, gregarious, introvert.
Yeah, outgoing introvert?
Yep.
Okay.
Wow, those are interesting. I write all this down on a piece. Okay, now we're going to slide into the word association test.
Oh, God.
I got a thumbs up from Bob. All right, so I'm going to say a quick word, and you're going to just give me the first word that pops to your mind.
Okay.
Writing.
Challenging.
I was going to say relentless. Stuck.
Fixable.
Music.
Soul.
Work.
Love it.
Rebuilding.
I was going to say normal. That was the first thing that I guess I'll just have to say the first thing that came to mind.
That's beautiful. That's good. I love that. That's positive. Mm-hmm. Motherhood.
Joy.
Isn't it though? Relentless.
Me.
I know that's so. I have chills. And let me just ask you one last question here. I can't thank you enough for your time today and your courage, I'll say, because you really do. You are a woman of courage for me. To see you expose your heart like that on paper
it's a lot.
That's amazing. It is, and it's beautiful. It's amazing and inspiring. Who would you say has been an inspiration to you, or who's inspiring you the most these days?
Okay, these days. Who's inspiring me the most these days? It's a group of people. It's my team at Entire Productions that are basically running my company for me. I'm working on the business, not in it day to day. And these people, I feel like I've gone through war with them because we've gone through COVID together. So the entire productions team. Mm-hmm.
So hats off to your entire productions teams. We at the Coriolis Effect wish you much more amazing success in all of your endeavors. You are an inspiration and encouraging to so many. And I would love to get a copy as soon as it's released. I will order it. We can find it on your website or Amazon. Where we can find it on March 22nd.
officialnatashamiller.com is the website for me, and therelentlessbook.com, and it's on Amazon and Barnes & Noble and, everywhere. And thank you so much for your support. Thank you for reading the book. And thank you for the incredible feedback and this time with you both.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You helped heal my heart. So thank you.
And we're out. The Coriolis Effect is produced by JS Productions. Producers Cory Oliver and Bob Victor. Host Cory Oliver. And editors Bob Victor and Cade Bonsall.
Hi guys, I'm Cory Oliver, and thank you for watching The Coriolis Effect. We hope you enjoyed the previous episode. Here are some more episodes you might enjoy. Hit the subscribe button below, and have a great day.